What's up, everyone? Mo here. Today I wanted to talk about a cult that promises us a better future but ends up spending all of our cash on themselves. That's right, it's college. So unless you're 100% sure on what you're going to do and that you need a degree to do it, like be a teacher, a doctor, accountant, lawyer, then we're going to really ask the deep questions today. Is college worth it? Now, don't get me wrong here. College can be a great option and it can definitely further your career. 50 years ago. Let's rewind back to the 1970s. Bell bottoms and mustaches were in style. People unironically used vinyls. And you could walk into any public college and pay $367 for a year of college. And once you graduate, you'll be able to work the same job for your entire life and graduate with plenty of money for retirement. And also, you'll have plenty of time left over to yell at us millennials for not working hard. 50 years later, not much has changed. People still use vinyls. Okay, other than that, everything's changed. Not only just college, but the entire job market looks different than it did 50 years ago. People who come out of college end up switching jobs once every 4 years. Okay, now before I go into whether college is worth it or not, first I want to ask, why do we even go to college? Well, just think about it. Think about what your parents and teachers have been telling you your entire life.
You gotta go to college, you gotta get a good job. The better the college you go to, the more opportunities, the better your life's gonna be.
Okay, now let's do some digging. How much more does a diploma actually get you? Looking at this graph, the average college graduate gets about $45,000 a year straight out the gate, while the high school graduate only gets $30,000. $15,000 difference, that's not bad, right? Open and shut case, let's move on. Okay, wait a minute, but 30 years ago in 1990, college graduates were getting paid the exact same as we're getting paid now, about $45,000. Well, okay, if I'm getting the exact same results as I would be 30 years ago, I should be paying roughly the same price, right? Right? Well, I hate to break it to you, but college tuition since then has more than doubled. And for public 4 years schooled, it's tripled. And think about it, has college gotten 2 or 3 times better since the 90s? I mean, besides the bigger pools, the bigger buildings, free concerts. Thank you, T-Pain, for getting into so much debt. What was the point of college again? Oh yeah, to get a better job? No, it hasn't. It hasn't changed anything. Who do you think's paying for all that? It's you, the student. If you're paying 3 times more, you better be getting something 3 times better. Like, imagine if you bought anything that was 3 times more expensive than what it was worth. Like if you're buying a car from 1990 and you're paying 3 times as much as you should be, but it's the same car. But because college is part of our culture and it's so deeply ingrained into our society, we just let it go and they can get away with these crazy price hikes. Now, if you didn't get any financial aid or scholarships, the bill is going to be huge. I mean, it could be life-changing, especially if you get into student debt. I mean, don't get me started with student debt. Private student loan interest can get as high as 15%. Every $1,000 you borrow, every year you don't pay that off, you're gonna have to pay $150 plus the $1,000 that you owe. And that just keeps on getting bigger and bigger with compound interest. So if you owe over $60,000 in student loans, that could take you 30 years to pay off. I mean, that's gonna be the most expensive piece of paper you're ever paying for. I haven't even opened it. I mean, look at this. I'm a hypocrite, everyone. I went to college. I mean, why do you think I'm making this video? And okay, I get it. Money isn't everything. It's not the full picture here. But something that isn't really talked about much with college is the opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? Basically, it's the loss of potential gains you get when you choose one path over another. Let's say a high school graduate, we'll name him Bob. He decides to go start a business instead of going to college. Instead of using the tuition that he would pay to go to college, he invests $60,000 into his business. And then he works on his business for 4 years. And compare this with Joe, who invests his $60,000 into college and comes out 4 years later with $60,000 worth of debt. Not only does Bob have an advantage over Joe in terms of the money, but he also has 4 years worth of work experience ahead of him. Also, the job market is so competitive right now. I mean, 43% of college graduates don't even work a job that requires a degree. What matters to employers is that you're actually able to do the job and that you have the required skills. The thing is, most students decide to attend college around 17 or 18. For their entire life, they're conditioned to think that college is just the next logical step and not going will be career suicide. But at this age, most students aren't ready to make that kind of commitment with their money or time. For instance, over half the college students in America, about 51%, they decide eventually to change their major, their school, or their degree. And that's not even accounting for the fact that only 59% of students end up graduating within a 6-year timeline. That's why if you're not completely sure about what your career is going to be, please don't rush into it. And if you don't know what you're going to do with your life, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just don't think about it on your dime. Really, lots of people don't have any clue what they're going to do to make a living, and many of them end up switching to another field anyways. This is a big world with lots of things to do, and you have plenty of worth whether you have a degree or not. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. College has started to become more of a status game than a wealth creation game. I mean, people are starting to go to college for their ego rather than for their wallet. A plumber who owns his own business can make $100,000 a year, while a lawyer can make the same exact amount, but he has to go through school for around 6 years. By that time, the plumber can make around $600,000. And the sad thing is the lawyer probably has a more respected profession out of the two of them. There's a ton of jobs you can do without a degree, and I'll be making a video about them, link here. If you watch this entire video and you still want to go to college, then please, go ahead. I don't want to get in the way of anyone's dreams, but I would still advise that you try your best not to go into any debt. Look for financial aid and scholarship opportunities, and make sure you know what your student loan interest rate is before you enroll. Also, you can even join the military and have all your college expenses be covered by the GI Bill. Alright, hope the college mafia doesn't go after me for this one, but that's it for me. Please drop me a like, a sub, and let me know what your college experience was like in the comments. Alright guys,